Kyudo, or Japanese archery, is a traditional martial art focused on using a bow and arrow. The word Kyudo means the way of the bow. It's not just about hitting the target, it's also about being calm, focused, and having the right posture. In Kyudo, archers wear special clothes and use a long, tall bow. The practice is often seen as a form of meditation, where both mind and body must work together. Some say that Kyudo is like a journey toward inner peace, where hitting the target is not as important as doing the movements with grace and concentration. It's a beautiful and quiet sport that shows Japan's deep connection to discipline and mindfulness. Kyudo has some interesting and detailed rules, which make it quite different from other forms of archery. Here's a simple breakdown of the main points. 1. Clothing and equipment. Archers wear a traditional outfit, usually consisting of a long skirt called hakama and a top called keikogi. The bow yumi is very long, over 2 meters, and asymmetrical, with the grip closer to the bottom. They use special arrows, which can be made of bamboo or modern materials. 2. The shooting process, shaho hasetsu, the 8 stages. Kyudo follows a strict series of movements known as the shaho hasetsu. Each step is performed in a smooth and calm manner. Ashibumi, stance, standing in position, feet shoulder width apart. Dozukuri, posture, aligning the body and straightening the spine. Yugame, readying the bow, holding the bow and preparing the arrow. Slowly lifting the bow above the head, drawing the bowstring back smoothly. The bowstring is fully drawn and the archer focuses on the target, releasing the arrow, aiming for a smooth and graceful release, keeping posture and focus even after the arrow is released, showing control and calmness. 3. Target and scoring. The target motto is typically set up about 28 meters away. It's a black and white circle, and hitting the center is ideal, but precision and technique are more important than just hitting the target. In competitions, archers shoot multiple arrows, and scoring can depend on where the arrow hits the target or how well the movements were executed. 4. Etiquette. Kyudo has very strict rules about respect and manners. Archers bow before and after shooting, and there's a lot of emphasis on calmness and respect for others. It's just as important to behave with grace as it is to shoot well. In Kyudo, the mindset and the form are just as important as hitting the target. It's more about mastering yourself than competing against others. Kyudo has a long and fascinating history, stretching back over 1,000 years. Here's a simple timeline to help explain it. Early history, pre-10th century. In ancient Japan, bows were used mainly for hunting and warfare. The bow was a key weapon for samurai on the battlefield. The early bows were made of wood and bamboo and were used on foot or horseback. 2. Samurai and Kyujutsu, 10th to 16th century. As Japan entered the Heian period, 794 to 1185, the use of the bow became more refined and archery was a key skill for samurai warriors. This military style of archery was called Kyujutsu, the art of the bow. Samurai trained rigorously to master archery, not just for war, but also for honor and discipline. A famous practice during this time was yabusame, a type of archery on horseback which became popular at samurai ceremonies. 3. Edo period, 1603 to 1868, the birth of Kyudo. During the Edo period, Japan entered a long period of peace under the Tokugawa shogunate. With fewer wars, Kyujutsu shifted from being purely a martial skill to a form of spiritual training and art. The focus became less about warfare and more about developing inner strength and discipline through archery. This is when the term Kyudo, the way of the bow, started to emerge, with an emphasis on the philosophy behind the practice, not just the technique. For modern Kyudo, 20th century to today, in the early 20th century, Kyudo schools unified to standardize the techniques, and the All Japan Kyudo Federation was founded in 1949. Kyudo became both a martial art and a sport, practiced for personal development, peace of mind, and as a way to connect with tradition. Today, Kyudo is practiced by people of all ages in Japan and around the world. Some practice it as a martial art, others as a form of meditation, but for many, it's a way to honor Japan's history and culture. Kyudo, like many traditional Japanese arts, combines the physical skill of archery with deep mental focus. It's often said that mastering Kyudo is like a journey toward mastering oneself, much more than just hitting the target.